Hi everyone, I'm Bryce, and welcome to our Vans Warped Tour AP Cover Stars at Lennon Bus live chat. How we all doing today? We got Kevin Lyman down here, founder of the Warped Tour.
We're doing good, you know.
Okay.
Father's Day in Texas, you know.
Oh man, it's
Father's Day on the Warped Tour.
Wait, you forgot.
Yeah, so if you're out there, call your dad.
Right.
You know, all bands too. Call your
my dad yet. I need to. Sorry, Dad.
That should have been in the memo. That should have been in the
That's a
memo.
reminder. So we got Sydney here from Echosmith. How we doing, Sid?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
Good.
It's fun. First time on this bus. It's pretty cool.
Cool. Ben from Neck Deep.
What's up? How you doing?
How we doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Chilling.
Cool.
All good.
Cool. And Derek from Mayday Parade.
What's up, bud?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Trying to stay cool.
Absolutely. Oh, I feel you. I feel you. Not so bad in here.
Okay. And Kevin, you want to take it away?
Yeah, let's get started here. You know, I mean, it's an interesting when I look across the table for me, and you know, we have Sydney, who has been on. This is her second Vans Warped Tour, and last year at this time, I mean, yesterday, I walked by your stage when you were playing, and I go, God, I wish I had the video from your first show a year ago to your first show now.
Yeah,
I mean,
somebody probably has
you have, you know, yeah, it'd be great to just kind of run them side by side. Because I don't think you looked up in the fans' faces the first show. Like you were so nervous. You were very, very nervous. And now you've come a long way in confidence. A lot, you know, what playing does. And I think Boot Camp of Warped Tour did that for you a little bit last summer. By the end of the summer, you were doing great. And then, you know, we have Ben from Neck Deep, and who just congratulations on your Kerrang Award.
Very much, yeah.
And as best new artist, right? If I gather.
Best British newcomer. It was.
Best British newcomer. I would actually like to lean towards best newcomer. Let's just dump the British part right now, you know?
Thank you very much.
Because, you know, from what I've seen, you know, there's a connect. Whoa, and then, here might be a best newcomer too. You know, a new guest just jumped in here. And we got Michael from Issues just jumped in. So they're both two newcomers that are kind of blowing up that stage that you guys are both killing it right now. You know, it's out there. And then we have, I guess, never thought I'd call you an elder statesman at Warped Tour. You know, it doesn't seem that long ago you were out in the parking lot selling CDs and kind of hanging out, trying to get on Warped Tour. And Derek from Mayday Parade. And you know, it's like for me having someone like Derek. This is a great thing because you could be a mentor to them in a way. You know. You know, me, I guess I'm just a disciplinarian. You know, the last thing, Pete, you guys want to do is be called a bus one. I guess that's everyone's told you. If you get called a bus one, it's not true. You can come over and watch NASCAR. You can hang. I have that new TV in the side of the bus. I'm not that evil of a guy, so you know it's kind of cool. As you hopefully saw, I'm a good barbecuer last night.
Yeah.
But so Derek, we're going to start with you because you know you've been out here, and this is how many times have you been out on Warped Tour?
Well, this is our 5th time playing it. And then we followed it once with Mayday Parade, and I also followed it in a band called Defining Moment in 2005. So it's my 7th time being a part of it, I suppose. Yeah.
And it's interesting with Mayday Parade. They're a band, you know, that for me was like, if they hung around there, you hung in there. You know, I mean, we get this kind of instant success kind of going sometimes in music right now, that you guys just kind of hang in and grew, your sound kind of grew into this thing, and then finally it connected with the fans. Yeah. I mean, so, you know, in the last year, I know you've been doing all kinds of stuff and become like a worldwide band. How many countries have you been in the last year?
It's been all over the place, yeah. We're very fortunate to have been able to go, you know, all kinds of places, and every one of them is, you know, we appreciate the opportunity, and it's great. It's a lot of fun, you know. Like you said, we started out just trying to follow Warped Tour and sell CDs and get the name out, and it's just kind of gradually built over the last 8 years.
And I think that, you know, that your sound, I think, you know, when you guys kind of started out, it was really maybe that whole screamo, emo kind of phase that kind of, you know, and we hadn't moved in. And now it's like, you know, your sound, because kids are listening to such an eclectic sound, because if we go across the room right here, I mean, you know, have you noticed new kids coming up and seeing any of you? You guys, with you, Ben, and you know, everything going on out here?
What's that?
And Mike?
What was the question?
Like the first day, like, you know, have you started, like, notice just kids wander by the stage? Because sometimes at Warped Tour you're playing. Do you ever see them, like, turn around and just kind of get pulled to the stage?
I kind of zone out when I'm playing. I look at all the kids that are watching and stuff, but then, like, to me, it's just, like, just focus on those kids. But, yeah, I mean, like,
Michael, yeah.
What's kind of cool is that, you know, kids will watch our set, and then they'll go over and watch somebody like Mayday Parade or like somebody
kind of-
completely different, and that's really cool, you know. To see.
Oh yeah, I've seen like a big variety in the fans.
And I like
obviously-
writing that schedule a lot
yeah.
of times where it used to be back in like when it was Katy Perry was starting out on Warped Tour,
Yeah.
and I'd put her right next to Bring Me the Horizon,
Yeah.
you know, and it would be
That's
like
different.
it was a great thing, but it turned her out to be a live band. So you know, Sydney, you turned into this like live artist out here. I mean, do you look at yourself as a live artist, and now with you've got a bit of radio going on in your life? Did you want to become a live artist or hear yourself on radio first? Which, when you were starting out, you know?
Well, we've been a band for 6 or 7 years now. So I mean, everything that's happened has sort of been a surprise and nothing that we expected. But I mean, yeah, of course, as you're growing up, you're like, oh man, I want to hear my song play on the radio. But at the same time, I think what I dreamed of more was performing for people who really cared and people who were singing along.
And so far, what has been your? I know what I feel the biggest surprise of Echosmith out here. What's your biggest surprises so far in the first 3 days of Warped Tour?
It's been insane to see how many people are going out of their way to see us, and they already know who we are, and it's crazy.
Yeah, but
'cause
that's not
last
the answer
year-
I'm looking for. What's the biggest surprise you've had? Like a few nights late, like when you're all one think you're gonna cuddle up in your nice little bus. That you know, we need to get the. What's happened the first couple nights of Warped Tour to you guys?
Well, I've been trying to catch up on sleep,
Your
and our bus has been breaking down. I forgot about that almost. Trying to be in the moment here, Kevin.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, our bus is broken down. It broke down like 5 times last night, but I was sleeping through most of it, and I was wondering, why are we not moving anymore? And I just went to bed. I was like, whatever, somebody else will deal with it. And then our first day, it took us twice as long to get here because it broke down another like 5 times.
And do you guys have any early stories like transportation? You know, you've been out on tour a lot. You know, any troubles getting down the road?
Yeah. Not specifically on Warped, but one time we ran off the road on a tour. It was during winter, hit ice, and then had another car plow right into our bus, and it was pretty intense. But yeah, so far so good for Warped.
Yeah.
Haven't really had any bus problems. So it's
And
good.
you've got to have some amazing adventures, like in transportation travels.
The year we followed it in 2006, actually like 5 days into the tour, we had just started the band 6 months before, and we recorded the EP. And my dad bought us a van because we didn't have any money, so we were like $20,000 in debt. And we're like, we gotta sell these CDs at Warped Tour so we can pay this back. And 5 days into the tour, we got in a pretty bad wreck. Deer ran out in front of the van, and the person we had driving swerved, and the trailer came unhitched off, and it swung around and slammed into the side of the van and flipped off. And it was a pretty scary thing. And then especially thinking like, wow, if we had to stop doing this, we'd be just completely screwed. So we just went and bought. It was Brooks' 21st birthday. We went and bought a new trailer that day. Kept going to the show and just kept on doing it.
So, speaking of birthdays, anyone celebrating their birthday out here this summer?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, that's a funny thing. Everyone's going, someone's birthday. I go, well, with 1,000 people on the road, we're gonna have a few every day, you know. You know, and now, you know, we're having Father's Day today, and you know, you're as a family, you know, your dad has.
My dad is here, and I haven't even said Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm the worst.
All right.
I'll get on it. I'll send him a text.
Well, you know, in a
or
family like there,
something.
you know, you better be careful because there's with 4 kids, right? You
Yes.
know, there's going to be an inheritance one day. So you don't want to, you want to have this
I
moment.
know.
You don't want to take this moment to be written out of it. You know, for
I
like.
already was maybe his favorite, but I don't know anymore. if I
Yeah,
didn't say
you know,
Happy
for
Father's
saying
Day.
that. You know, dude, Father's Day, Canada or in Canada. I just said dude from Canada
Same thing.
because we just
Canada,
took
England.
the Brit off the award. So now I'm putting you as a Canadian. You know, do you guys have Father's Day
Oh yeah. It's all pretty much the same.
today,
It's all
same day, or?
Yeah, it's today. I've left my dad a little card back at home. I left it on my bed for him.
Aw.
So
That's
yeah, I did
awesome.
remember. Yeah, I did remember.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie. My mum
Everyone
definitely.
take notes.
My mum definitely reminded me to do it. It wasn't off my own back, so.
Yeah, you know, I'm
But
getting like
still,
the same
yeah.
thing. I'm getting like, you know, I'm getting texts. I'm getting all these, and they're not my kids. Or whatever. Saying Happy Father's Day, Kevin. Awesome father of Warped Tour and kind of thing. And my daughter keeps walking by me with cases of beer. My 15-year-old. And she said,
Happy Father's
but
Day,
no, she's
Dad.
not saying a thing. And then finally, it takes about till 2 in the afternoon. She goes, "Oh, Happy Father's Day." So you know, we get caught up on the road, and you know, is it at any point where you kind of go? Are you doing exactly what you want to do, or you know, you've been doing this a long time? Do you feel like some of your friends like are starting to get married, have kids, and you're kind of out on the road? Is it still cool with you? Is it exciting?
Yeah, it's great. And in fact, I have a daughter. I have a daughter who's
how old?
3. Yeah, she turns 3 in August.
Congratulations.
So yeah, it's great. And then it's cool that it happened at a time where we were able to keep doing doing this, we make a living doing this, you know, and so I just balance out touring and being home. And obviously it's tough to leave for a long thing like this, but it's all good. We can FaceTime, video chat, stuff.
All right, quick question. Let's go down the road and starting at the end there. How many days on the road were you last year?
Oh gosh.
No idea. We were gone a lot. We started out in January and went to April. We just did like 4 months straight. And that was probably the most I've ever done right back to back in issues, I guess. We were gone for the majority of the year. We just got a house, Tyler and I,
And where's that?
in Atlanta.
In Atlanta,
So,
okay.
So it's kind of weird. You just got a house, but you're only there for a couple months. But so you're just kind of like, is it worth it? But
Yeah, you have some roommates taking care of it, or some
Yeah,
people
yeah,
while you're
yeah,
gone,
of
you know,
course.
and someone feeding the cat, you know, something like that. Or just
Yeah.
leave a big tub of food, like, here, be back in August.
better have it clean when we get home. So.
Yeah. And Sydney, you guys, you know, I think came off of Warp last year and went out with Somerset.
We
or-
went out with Owl City
yeah.
after Warped, right after. And then we had like a week off, maybe 2 weeks, and then we did a tour with Tonight Alive and a few other bands from Warped last year. And then we had a little bit of a break, and then we did a college tour this year. It's been mostly this year that we haven't been home.
So are we still doing homeschooling on the road and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm almost done, and I have 2 classes to do.
Right. How about your brother?
Graham has a lot more than 2 classes. He's doing it because he just finished 8th grade.
So like he works
So-
all day long, you got signings, you got things to do, and then he's in the bus like doing algebra, and there's like
Yeah,
this dance party
geez.
going on outside the bus and barbecuing, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty sad that he has to do all the hard classes while
Yeah.
we're on the road. But it's okay. He could have worse problems.
And is this, you came on one tour of the U.S. right before?
Yeah, we did a headline run in, I'm trying to think, I was in like April, I think. But yeah, again, for us, it's been like, we've been busy most of this year. Like last year we did like Australia and things like that. Again, something I never ever thought we'd be able to do. But yeah, this year we've been at it hard, and I think we've had maybe a couple
And
of
I
weeks
think
now.
it's just going to get, for all 3 of you guys, is getting, you know, just going to be, you don't know, like, you know, big,
Oh, yeah.
leave a big thing of food, because pretty soon, you know, that cat's not going to know. And a name, you know, put a photo of you next to the cat. So like
Yeah.
the cat goes, yeah, that's, you know, when you leave, you know. And then Derek, speaking of Australia, what the hell happened to you in Australia? You got really big down there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden it was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's one of the places that like we did Soundwave in 2011 there, and it was just like huge. It was so the first time we went there was in Paramore a few years in like 2007, and then we came back for Soundwave, and it was just really, it had grown so much, and then we did it again last year.
Yeah.
Or
So-
this year. I'm sorry.
So probably next time you head down, probably the headlining tour on your own, I suspect,
yeah.
something like that. Or
Absolutely.
It's hard down there now with all those festivals. Everyone plays the festivals, and touring on your own gets a little hard these days. You know,
Yeah.
down in Australia because there's so much.
A lot of good bands like in Australia though, and again they all say the same thing. It's like hard to get out there, but I'd say Australia is up there with one of the best places to go and tour. I mean,
We're having Parkway Drive join us
Oh, yeah.
in a few weeks here out on Warped, and they were over in Europe, and just good dudes. And, you know, those guys are great because you know the music they play in flip flops and and beach trunks, you know, like board shorts. It's pretty awesome. And then they walk up and they're like, "Hey, bro, see you going out for the waves," you know. You know, good guys. You know, so. Let's take a couple of these Twitter questions here while we're here.
Sounds good.
All right. This is for you, Sydney. It's Echosmith from @Keeley Wonders. Question for Sydney from Echosmith. When and how did you guys decide to become a family band?
Everyone loves that question because I guess it is unusual. But we all started playing individually first and didn't even think of having a band for some reason. You would have thought that we would have thought of it at least a little sooner. And we all were just kind of doing music because we knew we were going to do music anyway, and we all loved it. And then 6 or 7 years ago, we got asked to, or our dad got asked to put a band together for a benefit concert. And he's like, I guess my kids could play together. We played a song by The Cure, Umbrella by Rihanna, and some song by Rage Against the Machine, and all these different songs. And we're like, well, this is still fun, I guess. So we started writing our own stuff, and we've been doing it ever since.
All right, so that kind of leads into another question from, and this is, I guess, for everyone. We can all, from Allison McCarthy @loveaddict_Rusher2. It's always weird. I love all those cool names, and like, you know, I come from like everything's like @Kevin Lyman. You know, it's like at Kevin Lyman, backslash Kevin Lyman. You know, everyone's got these cool names, and I thought you just put your name. That's why my email
the same
address is
thing.
still, you know, at kevinwarped@aol.com. Because that's what how long I've been around. Because
My
it
mom's
was
still AOL.
because right when we started the Warp Tour, I had to get it. That was internet was just starting, and we were starting to do emails, and I didn't know, so I'm like, well, I got the Kevin Warped at AOL was my first thing in '95, so I keep that one around. So if the cell phone number gets out too much, I can shut it off, and then. But it's a fun one you tour and you speak at colleges and universities. It's your AOL. You get that look like, whoa, that dude is old. Like that dude is just like, whoa, I didn't know he was that
I
old.
wasn't sure before.
Yeah. So this is from Allison, and she says, "What is your favorite song to perform live, and maybe the reason why you like singing it so much?" There.
It's tough to say, but for me, maybe it's just be a song called "Oh Well, Oh Well." That is just one of the more energetic songs, and it's just a lot of fun to play live. And it's one of the crowd favorites as well. So that's
I would say Crushing Grief off our new record, because it's always good to play new stuff, and that's one of my favorite off the new record. And I get to do this big timed jump that I do at the start of the song. So it's always good to be able to do that. So Crushing Grief is always fun to play.
My favorite has become Cool Kids because our fans actually chose that to be the single on Warp Tour. We had no idea that would be the song that was going to be on radio and all that stuff, but I remember it was in, I think, either Detroit or something. It was somewhere around Warp Tour, and they started to sing that song. That was the first song that I saw people sing along to and to really connect with on a personal level. So that's my favorite, to see how people react.
All right.
I would have to say for us, probably Hooligans. It's kind of cliche, but that song always goes off. It's really, really anthem-y and really fun to sing along. So it's probably not my personal favorite that we have, but live it always goes off. So.
We were talking before, you got here, Michael. We were talking about the heat. Ben comes from a country where probably average temperatures, like 60, degrees, and he jumps out here and he thought it was going to be really hot on stage, but then he got close to the fans. And I mean, how much respect do you have for the Warped Tour fan that's coming out for 9 hours and just sings up there when you get close? How much heat's coming off those people?
Well, that's what I mean. We have water on stage and stuff, obviously, and it's we can just sip water and just be like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. And we think we've got a hard time because we're running around. Look at these kids, and they've sung every word, and you can tell that they're absolutely dead, but they're still going for it. And then at the end of the set, water, please, please, water. And it's just there you go. You deserve it more than
yeah. It's interesting for me because it's watching this lineup it's going to come together. We've got a lot of young bands, we've got a lot of things, and it's just like last year's lineup. When I kind of went to this whole kind of focusing in on what Warped Tour is. We were getting too wide with the demographic of music and everything, and it was weird because I could even see it in the parking lots. There was the old crusty guy sitting in the corner playing poker, and then there's this side playing Dungeons and Dragons. It was so there's a lot of talks about hanging out at Warped Tour. I mean, when you guys were thinking, did you think of anyone that you wanted to meet out here or run into that you have, or just kind of do you find it still fun to go to the barbecues and things?
It's amazing. This tour more than any other, just because there are so many people, and I've never known this amount of people on a tour before, because we've been on the every 2-year schedule since 2008, and just with a lot of the other bands, and so it's great. And there are people that I want to meet that I haven't met yet, other bands that I look up to, Saves the Day and stuff, for example. Bands that I want to hopefully get a chance to hang with, and it's amazing.
Any of you guys?
We just had a couple of friends from real friends. We've done a couple of things with them in the UK, and they've been stoked. Kind of every time we see them, it's Warped Tour, Warped Tour, Warped Tour. So it's definitely good to see some old friends. But I mean, we're down to kind of hang with anyone because
you're always line for food, you're in line for showers. You're like, hey, what do you do?
And, we're just the weird British guys that just came out of nowhere. So I'm a lot of people are whoa. You're from the UK, and then you get chatting, and
And I'm really stoked that Mike Kaminsky, of course, who's your U.S. manager now, is a good, great guy, and everything. And I was glad to see you hook up with him over here.
Yeah, he's been introducing me to. I met the guys from Bayside the other night.
I think we had Mike over there. He's so used to the Warp, he sees a hole in the fence. Some kids were, and he just stood there until a guard comes. You don't see any managers just get involved, hands on, and I think Mike's that guy that'll help you out. Throughout your career over here, so I'm stoked, to see him out there. All right, so I got something from Hug Brandon. best Warped Tour fan experience. Asking us, what the best Warped Tour fan experience. I mean, I think the accessibility of these guys. How many signings have you guys done, and how many people have you signed for?
Oh, tons. Yeah, we tend to just like say, come to merch after we play if we haven't got a set signing, and we'll at least hang out and just say.
And I think it's unique that you guys grow up with that now. That that's what you grow up knowing. That's what the best artists do. They sit in their tents, they meet. Because when I was starting Warped Tour, it was kind of a torn. Like there were some artists just wouldn't go out and meet the crowds and go hang out with them. But the bands that I've seen with the length of a career are the ones that still go like that. Meeting them, shaking hands, signing something. That means they're going to be lifelong fans.
Yeah, it means a lot for sure. Yeah.
And I think watching the audience now. I mean, there's about half of these kids are coming to see you guys, all these bands for the first time. It's their first festival experience, and what do you think? I mean, there's a lot of festivals in the U.S. now. Have you guys starting to? In the U.K., it's becoming more like the U.K. where there's a festival a week right now.
Yeah.
I mean, do you hope that you get to play and start broadening to other festivals, or are you enjoying them?
Festivals are a completely different setup. Obviously, it's like regular shows. I mean, you normally get there, you hang out for a bit, you play your set, and then from then on, it's pretty much wander around and see what awesome bands are playing, and enjoy the sun. They're always in the summer. So, unless you're in the UK, where it's just like, I don't think I've ever been to a dry festival in the UK. I went to Leeds Festival last year, and it was literally a river of mud, like washing tents away and all that. But
we used to take Warped Tour and we'd play. They'd give us festival spaces within those festivals. I mean, we brought a skateboard ramp to Reading, and we were the first guys that did that. And it was like I got in a lot of trouble once because I didn't know. They're pretty tight, those festivals. It's not like Warped Tour where you got my bro and I want to come. I picked up a bunch of homeless guys because we couldn't find the festival with my bus, and these guys were out standing drinking beer at like 4 a.m. And I said, if you can get us to Reading, I'll sneak you in. So I brought him backstage at Reading the first time the Warped Tour showed up there, and they almost kicked us out that first night. But we tore down and went crazy with Pennywise, and the tent almost got torn down. And now it's nice to see all the bands playing festival. I mean, when you looked at Download, the lineup last weekend at Download Festival, I mean, there were so many bands that Warped Tour, that had been there. That it's nice to see everyone getting access to that
general festival atmosphere as well that you don't get with regular shows and things like that. You go to a festival and everyone is there for the same reasons, and everyone is there to have a good time, and it's not the sort of like you'll go with your friends to hang out with your friends and go watch a band. It's like, we're going to go with my friends and we're going to meet so many people and just have a laugh doing it. And I guess Warped is pretty much the same. I mean, I've been talking to kids and they say, I was walking around on my own and I met her and she's been taking me around all day and she loves your band too, and it's awesome. It's good to see that people come together at things like these.
So day off tomorrow. I mean, we've had 3 days. It's almost better. Like for me, I'd be like 42 days in a row and just go home, but we can't quite do it. The days off for me, I've been around the country so many times, not only on Warp but other tours and stuff. So it's a little different. But what tomorrow? We're on our way over to Albuquerque. You guys got any special plans or?
It's to watch the U.S. play Ghana tomorrow. That's the only plan I have. Take it easy, take a shower.
I heard people are going whitewater rafting.
Yeah. I'm taking, I think, 150 people. So if you maybe got to get over to Santa Fe, and then I'm doing a speaking gig at a youth center there tomorrow night. I make the whole tour come with me. I'm like, I want to go whitewater rafting, so I take 150 production people, and then I'm like, okay, I got to do this. Anything fun planned this summer for days off, or just kind of play it as it is? Well, you guys will probably be at a truck stop.
Well, yeah, I think they're gonna fix the bus tomorrow, but I'm staying here for radio stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
we're flying tomorrow night.
Yeah, you've got a balance right now. It's a balance. When you start doing that, so you'll probably be voted if things go perfectly, you'll be voted laziest person at Warped Tour, and I'm only referring to you because that's what Katy Perry was voted the laziest person on Warped Tour.
Really?
Wow.
Not knowing that Katy Perry was like up at 5 o'clock in the morning doing like Today Show and all these things, and making it back for a set at Warp, signing for 2 hours, and then she got voted laziest because she was never at a barbecue. It's a weird kind of,
standing in line for catering.
Yeah, it was just she was always off working, and everyone just goes, she's just so late. But she was actually working very hard. So if all goes well this summer, Echosmith will be voted laziest.
I don't think we got that award last year.
Person on the Warped Tour. So, how much time we got on this thing? We're good. Yeah. We're running okay. Well, I'm this is the first time we're doing it this summer. Hope you guys can, any last parting things you want to say, run down the list.
Thanks for checking it out.
Thanks for coming to watch us.
We're all stoked to be here. It's great.
Yeah, thanks for coming virtually, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm really excited on the lineup too as well. So.
cool. I just think I went to that thing, and I think it's one of those things. We ended in Texas last year, and you could just feel like that lineup was so on fire at the end. You wish you could come back in some of these places, and I think we got the same lineup this year. We're watching it, and everything's kind of. There's so many great bands, and everyone's now, and it comes from each band. I'm watching the band start and go, holy crap! I just walked by and saw this band play and that band, and it feeds off of each other. And we hope to see you down the road, all of us. And thank you very much for joining us tonight on the bus, the John Lennon Bus. Thanks for having everyone.
See you soon. Bye.
Thank you guys. Peace out.